Hello, okay, this is Ben Fuja, and I'll be an instructor for this class. So, we're going to be talking about Excel for data analysis. Let's look at what Excel is all about. It's a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft, and it's one of the most used program. There are other spreadsheets developed by different organizations, but Excel is like the most used program. And if you look at areas where Excel is being used, we use it for project management, data analytics, financing, accounting, and lots more. Excel organizes data in columns and rows and allows you to do mathematical functions. It was released in 1985. It is typically used for analysis, data entry, data management, accounting, budgeting, and lots more. So, Excel is actually a spreadsheet tool that is used in different areas and different field. So that's why we actually use Excel for data analysis. And as a data analyst, you must understand that the very first tool I always advise you learn is Excel, because it's the bedrock for data analysis. Now, let us look at Excel overview, and then I'll take you to Excel program itself. Now, Excel is structured into two pieces, the ribbon and the sheet. We have the ribbon provide shortcut to Excel commands. A command is an action that allows you to make something happen. Then we have the sheets, and the sheets is a set of rows and columns. So it's from the same pattern as we have in mathematical exercise books. The rectangle boxes formed by pattern are called cells. So let's go to this is our Excel sheet. Mainly you open up your Excel, something like this is going to open up, and this is called a workbook. So when you open the workbook, what we are saying is that Excel is divided into two. The sheet itself, what we are saying is that the workbook is divided into two. So we have the ribbon. So this part contains the ribbon, where you have your formula bar, and then you have your functions. You have file, home, insert, draw, page layouts. All these are called the ribbon. And then this part where you have the boxes are called the sheet. Where you have the alphabet A, B, C, D down, it's called the colons. You can see the arrow pointing down, so they are called colons. And where you have your numerical values are called rows. So you can see that all these parts where you have the numerical values are rows. Now, the intercept between a colon and a row is called a cell. So this intercept B5 is called a cell. So this is a cell. So, and you also have to understand that you can select multiple cell by just click and drag. So if I just click once, I have cell. If I click and drag, I have multiple cells selected. If you also come down here, you have sheet 1, and then you have a plus button here. So if I click on this plus button, I'm going to have another sheet. If I click on this plus button again, I'm going to have another sheet. So definitely you can have multiple sheets in a workbook. You can have multiple sheets in a workbook. So also know that these sheets can be renamed. So I can come here and rename this Ben. I can come here and rename this Fuja. Okay, you can also change the color of your sheets. So tap color, I can decide to make this red. I can also decide to make this yellow. So you can see you can change the color of your sheets. So multiple sheets make a workbook. Now we talked about the ribbon. One important aspect of the ribbon that you must know is a formula bar. So here is called the formula bar. Here is called the name box. So if I select a cell, we said it's an intercept between a column and a row. So this intercept that form this cell is F5. And where can you see that? You can see that in the name box. You can see name box. Whereby here is where you write your formulas. So, and it's called what is called the formula bar. So I can Whatever thing I write here and I click enter, it comes here. Don't mind the error, you'll know about it later. So know that if I want to write any formula, I can just write them here. So when we talk about multiple sheets, like I said before, when you open Excel, you start with one sheet by default. By when you create a new workbook, but you have as many sheets as possible in a workbook. So lot of sheets, multiple sheets make a workbook. New sheets can be added and removed. Sheets can be named, renamed, change the color, anything to make it easier for you to work with data. Now let's look for okay, on this slide we'll talk about Excel syntax. So what actually do we mean by syntax? Every tool has its syntax. For example, every country have a particular language they speak. So if I should go to France and I'm speaking English, if they don't understand English, it might be difficult for some persons. It might be difficult to communicate. So that's how every tool is. So every tool has its own syntax. The syntax I'm going to use for SQL might not be the same thing I'll use for Excel. So here in Excel, we'll talk about formulas, talked about so here in Excel we use formulas. So formula in Excel is used to do mathematical function. Formulas always start with the equal signs and they are typed in the cell followed by your calculations. So let us look at so when we say formula, like I said, you can easily do equal to here. Now let's say I want to add something. I can have 2 plus, sorry, 2 plus 2, enter. Now I have 4. See, we said Excel is used like a mathematical tool. So if I come here and I say I want to write a formula, I have to start with it equal to. So equal to 5 times 5. I have 25. So always know before you write a formula, you start with it equal to. So if I want to sum, don't worry, you're going to get here. You have H and F5. Now you see I wrote a formula inside this place to sum um, from F5 to H6. So always know that you must start every formula with an equal sign. If not, your formulas are not going to work.